to the right page for you.
Amber, I'd like to say a few words, if I may, just before we get started.
Okay.
I'm concerned about the budget and other things, but you took $548,000 fund balance, lower that. Fund balance, frankly, is for emergency, unforeseen conditions. God knows any fiscal issues that come up nationally. And I'm very concerned, frankly, about Washington, D.C. right now. Medicaid cuts, Medicare, Social Security, it's being talked about. The current administration has 3 more years to facilitate a lot of these things. What they say they're going to do, they have done. And these are things that we know are being planned. I just think our budget is, I don't think we should take from the fund balance. God knows what's going to happen in the next couple of years. I think it's prudent, fiscally prudent, to not take that money and leave it there for conditions that arise. And in lieu of that, I think our budget has been fat. We go from last year's number, line item number, and we tend to add to it this year. And then throughout the year, we take money from this line item to pay for this line item. Rather than say, you know what, we don't have money in that line item, we can't do it this year. But we move things around. So what I'd like to see, I would request that we put the money back into the fund balance, and that when we go through this budget, we come up with an arbitrary number and deduce the budget items, the line items, by a certain percentage, whatever we agreed to. Hard costs like salary, insurance, those types of things, no, we're not going to do that. But other line items, to do that, I think it's a fiscally prudent thing to do right now at this point in time. We're going to suffer in this country. There's already grocery prices are going through the roof. We think that's going to change in the next 3 years? I don't think so. We're only going to lose our benefits. Anything that we have, people that are struggling out there, they're going to struggle more. There.
Right, so if we took out, I mean, there's the cell tower use of the money that we've been using every year. There's green options that we're rolling over. There's Waterman program that we're rolling over, and then jetties and bulkheads that we're purposely rolling over because we've got a failing bulkhead in the Silver Beach area. So do you want to take out all of those plus the $504,000, which is kind of the discretionary pull? I mean, they're all discretionary, but do you want to pull all of them out or just that? The 500. Just
Is
to have
Waterman discretionary? Was that money given for a purpose?
the 504,000?
No, the
Or just the Waterman.
Oh, the Waterman money was given for a purpose.
Right.
So it's not discretionary. It's restricted, not unrestricted.
It is restricted, yes, yeah, true, okay, so that one. But if we pull out the 405,000, then we're starting with a 5.3% budget. So if that's the number you'd like to peg off of, my suggestion from the first day that I presented the budget was that we go through all of the expenditures and analyze where we can do cuts and things, and then talk about fund balances at the very end, which is what we historically have done.
Okay, I'm just saying how I'm looking at this budget here.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we've historically done, but
on the table.
yeah, I just this year wanted to, in order to like compare apples to apples, in prior years, we always start with like not pulling like a discretionary fund balance pull, but we always do something at the end of every year. So I'll pull that information when we get to that discussion. But if you want to start, like we're looking not at 2.1%, Shelby? I've already 2.2%. We can start with, we're looking at a 5.4% and go from there. If that helps you in terms of how you want to frame looking at expenditures. It's your call.
Well, it's not my call.
It is.
It's the board's call.
Yes, well, I mean,
Frankly,
I'm saying
mean-
the collective view. That's what I'm saying, the collective.
All right.
I
I just think our budget is fat. Every year we tend to raise items. Said, well, we need the money and we raise it. So incrementally, yes, this year you lowered some dramatically. But typically we raise items and then we shuffle that money around to cover other items rather than say, I don't have money in that line item, so we can't spend it.
That's typically how the board looks at it. That's not how I built this budget. I didn't say.
I'm not
money from here
saying you,
there.
but I just think that's,
So, but yeah, I mean, how.
that's what happened. That's what's happened in here.
Well,
I think.
as part of the collective view, I think it makes more sense to start with the unadulterated number before we look to fund balance. That, was it 5.6?
5.3% is what I'm showing.
5.3?
If I pull out, if I leave the cell tower, which was board decision years ago, which you can all undo, green options, which is a rollover from a grant, Waterman program rollover from a grant, and then jetties and bulkheads, that's pulling money that's not being spent at the moment. I don't think Ken has enough in order to do the entire bulkhead repair. When he comes in, he can speak to that.
Okay. It seems like we should do the budget first and then decide how much or if we're going to pull from the fund balance rather than start with pulling from the fund balance.
Yeah, I wanted to present a complete budget, that what my recommendation was. That's why there's a column for
Okay.
town board that you all get to weigh in on.
I would keep the cell tower money and the green options and the Waterman, because those were all earmarked for something, like
Mhm.
they'll have a purpose, and same thing with the jetty and bulkhead. I would keep that and pull out the 405 while we get started and just start from there.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like if
Yeah,
if
so
that's the
that's-
direction the board
So
wants
if I
to go,
pull the
that's fine.
405 out, we're at 5.3%.
Okay. I mean, that's better than before. Sure. Yes. So the green options, the Waterman, those are restricted funds, I think.
Right,
Well,
they
certainly the
can
Waterman.
grant for donations for a specific cause.
Yeah. And the cell tower, is that restricted or unrestricted?
Unrestricted.
Yeah. So I think we should leave it out for now and maybe tap it later. But yeah, I think starting with 5.3 is the right place to start, or a better place to start.
And hold on, if I'm changing that to 0, now 5.8%.
Right.
Yeah, and 1.1 above 1.59.
I might have made a change for some. We'll double check.
Because then we can collectively decide, at the end of all this, oh, we need to go take $400,000 out of fund balance. Yeah.
You should put 10 out of the B fund, the fund balance pool.
Oh. Yeah, so we're getting out of that 10,000 as well then, in the B fund.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're at 6.
Mm-hmm. And we also, during this process, need to take a look at what's recommended for a town or municipality to have in their fund balance. I mean, I've seen everything from 10% of expenses to 15%. But I mean, we should talk about it. I'm not suggesting anything. I just said we should talk about it.
We have repeatedly asked, towns across the state have repeatedly asked for guidance from the Office of State Comptroller on what our fund balances should be, and they will not weigh in on it.
Yeah. Well, we can look at, I mean, the GASB, whatever it's called. Don't they recommend 10% of unrestricted? Well, we don't have to talk about it now, but this should be part of our conversation over the next couple of weeks. But I think GASB is recommending our fund balance should be 10% of our annual costs.
I suggest we pick it back up after Bethany saying it's on the tight schedule.
And I'm not even sure we have that in the fund balance. Is that, we have 2 point something? Is that, that's not,
Yeah, there's no real recommendation, so you can look at.
yeah.
Reasonable amount.
A reasonable
Yeah,
amount is
yeah,
all they
reasonable,
say.
yeah, I was gonna
It has to
say,
be
the
reasonable
auditors,
for your
yeah.
municipality.
We've asked the auditors who. are
Yeah,
up
these
to
are all
Gatsby.
guidelines, but yeah, these are all guidelines. I mean, nothing is required of us, but
Yeah, I don't think they've given 10%, but we can double check with the auditors because they know Gatsby better than anybody.
and the Southampton's reserve fund policy that I sent to everyone uh earlier today, I think they hold 10%. That's what Southampton does. But it just should be part of this conversation as we go forward.
So Shelby, are you starting to track the town board column or this is if we're watching this percentage, it changes and so I'm still pegged to the supervisor's column, my cover sheet.
Yeah, I usually just like copy it over and then. Yeah.
Bethany. Welcome. Hello.
You get to be the first one. Yay.
I like it.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if you want to just start with a little bit the summary.
Yeah. I can go over some of the highlights from
Yeah.
the year. So from this.
Hey, Julian,
I'm trying to find it.
22.
thank you, Sheldon.
No, actually, we were going to start with page 64.
Which one?
This is the summary, the FYI 25.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
one.
highlights.
Okay, yeah. So I'll just go through some of the highlights from the year, from this past 2025, which obviously we're not done yet. But we added in our community trips. So we took a trip to the Mets game. We partnered with the Shelter Island Little League team, and there ended up being, I think there was like at least 40 kids that ended up going to that at a reduced rate. So that was awesome. That's some of the kids' first time going to a big Maple League game. So that was really exciting for them. We are going to do a New York City trip coming up. Try to partner with Kelly on that too, try and maybe pull in some seniors to go to that trip. It's a do as you please. So we provide the bus right off the ferry and then they get to go in, do what they want and then come right back. So it's really accessible for some people that might not otherwise be able to make a trip like that. Our Out to Lunch Brunch program we continue to do, taking seniors off the island for lunch. We did our Wednesdays by music, Wednesdays by the water at Wade's, which is our music. We had 4 different ones this summer, so we upped that this year, which was a great opportunity for the community to come out and be together and also bring in some of that summer crowd as well and see what we do. We started our yacht club program, our junior sailing, which we had the Waterman funding from, so we used that as well to start it was a week program. We had 27 kids that went out to the yacht club and got to learn about sailing and see how all of that works. So that was exciting. We'll be able to continue to do that because we'll have funds left over for next year to continue that. And then in a few weeks, we are doing our first fall festival. So I hope that you guys will all come out to that. That is on October 4th from 11 to 2. It will be free to the community. We will just have, the only cost would be food trucks. There'll be a petting zoo, there'll be arts and crafts, face painting, music. So we're excited about that.
Mhm. Yes, Bethany,
Yeah.
from my look from the Waterman program, the yacht club program with the 27 kids, it looks like we have funding for 2 more years.
Oh yeah, we should be able to do it for a few more years, as long as everything, you never know what the fees will be, but if the fees stay where they're at, yes, we should be able to continue it for a few more years with just the money that we have. And then, like we had talked about, Ben, hopefully fundraising somewhere else to continue that program forward.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Great. I mean, it was a huge success, but
Yeah,
yeah.
not really well.
Good thing you know a guy.
And the yacht club did it at cost, by the way.
Help you.
So some future goals moving forward. We are always wanting to increase our summer programming or change up the summer programming depending on what the kids need. Obviously, that's a big time of year around here and we have a lot of kids in the area for the summer. So just continuing that. Working with Kelly to increase our lunches, our senior lunches that we host. Right now, we do them every other month. We've been averaging about 70 people. At the Christmas one, we had up to like 85, I think. So that was really awesome. So doing that and then hoping to partner maybe with more outside organizations. The PBA is going to do the next one. So we're working with them to do a breakfast in October. So just working more on that. Community events like the fall festival that we're doing just to grow that community engagement. Our youth nights that we do on Friday and Saturday night, we'll continue to do those. Update equipment at Fit Center to grow membership. Our membership was really well and then COVID hit and we took a huge dive down. We went from like, I don't know, I think we were at like maybe bringing in 85,000 a year. We dropped down to maybe like 40,000 and we're like finally back up to that number. So that is really great for us. We're really happy that we were able to grow ourselves back up to that number after COVID. And then just building stronger relationships with other departments and community organizations, seeing where we can combine with other outside organizations to provide more opportunities for the community.
Now we go back to page 22.
Bethany, are there any supplier contracts that the rec department has, like maybe with the Fit Center or anything?
So for FIT, we have a contract with the school for $5,000, which is not a lot for the year. That's what we pay them for the year. For FIT uses our RecDesk software that we use also for our programs. So that is a software contract that we have. And then our water delivery, I think, would be the other one. Otherwise, it's just like electric, fuel, all the basic stuff.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
And on the 5,000 with the school, that goes into a fund.
Yeah.
So that, into a reserve fund over at the school when we need capital improvements. And last year we had an issue with the roof. And the money that had accumulated over the years was sufficient to redo the roof there. And
Hopefully being done this fall is what I was told.
yes,
So.
yeah, they had to wait because in order to release the funds, the school had to go for.
Referendum.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
so
they
it
had
got
to do a
approved to
referendum.
use. So now we're just waiting to get the scheduled date to redo the roof there because there's leaks all over. So that would be really good.
Is it raining in Shelter Island right now?
Oh, I'm hoping it holds
Oh,
up.
yeah, it is. It just started.
Yeah, it's raining here, so.
Yeah, I just looked outside, it just started raining.
So Bethany, go get some buckets.
Yeah, I know. We've got them. They're all over. Yeah, I mean, is there questions? Do you want me to the main.
No, I think, Bethany, I think it's good. Obviously I'm new on the board, so I don't really know some of the intricacies, okay? I think it's really good that you come forward and explain, what you're doing. I think there's some things that, it's good that the community knows what good things you're doing here, okay? And things going in the future, okay? I'm thankful if you come, thank you for coming. Okay?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Anytime. Yeah, I mean, the change that I made on my budget this year, I tried to keep everything other than salary increases at 2.5 the same. The only thing that I requested was the lifeguard increase, and that was because we had a struggle with getting lifeguards and keeping them this summer.
Yeah.
We had 7 that we were supposed to hire. We ended up with 6 that were hired. And then by the end of the summer, we had two. Two others went back to school, and then two others decided that they just wasn't worth it to them to work the last 2 weeks of the year. So, and then we also had heard around the island that they are getting paid more to lifeguard elsewhere. So it's like, it's really hard to compete, not let alone just with lifeguard, but like people can go in and waitress and babysit now and not have to have this 3-day certification that they have to take to lifeguard. So to be able to offer them more money and pay for that course, my hope is that then we can recruit more. Maybe not even just kids too, maybe like teachers that are like off for the summer, maybe people that are a little bit older might want to consider it if their pay is higher, because it would go into their retirement as well, because it is a town job if they're teachers as well. So that's the hope.
What, Bethany, where, have you looked at seeing what other towns pay their lifeguards?
Yeah, so
Not,
Green-
not just like the south side, the ocean, but in terms of Baywater.
Yeah.
Any
Yes.
differences?
Greenport Village is at 25. South Hold Town, I think, is at 22, they said. I think Sag Harbor was the same. I think they were at 23. So, I mean, it's all, yeah. Yes, I did do the research on that because I was like, you had to just see what everyone
Well,
else
what's
is
the
doing.
market rate? Like, you
Yeah,
need to know
right.
what everyone else is getting in
Yeah.
order to be able to be competitive.
I assume you did that. I wasn't trying to.
No, that's
Rather than
okay.
just listen to kids
Yeah, yeah,
saying,
yeah.
oh, they're getting that much money.
Yes, totally.
So the big change from 2024, where you had budgeted 44,000, now this year, it's up to 64,000.
Yes, so 2024, they were still getting 17 an hour, and then in 2025, we bought them up to 22. And then we realized that that was not, still, it was just not competing with what they were getting offered.
What's the, I know that obviously the summer is over, but we're still behind, but as of the end of August.
Yeah, so we're gonna have money left over just because this summer we didn't get the numbers of kids that or lifeguards that we wanted as well as people leaving early. So we'll have money left over. If we staff the way I want to, that's what that money's projected for. And we also actually add, because Labor Day is not till the 7th next year, so we actually have 10 weeks. So we add a week of summer next year that the lifeguards will be on. Which is great.
That's not gonna be challenging at all.
I don't understand the Waterman program.
Yes,
That's
so
restricted?
that was just, so it was maybe 4 years ago.
Right.
There was an organization that donated $25,000 to the recreation department. They wanted us to do something that involved water with the money for the kids, getting the kids engaged in water, educated on water, something like that. So we floated around a few different ideas and nothing ever really worked until we came across the sailing program. So now that's why we're starting to use that money. So that money will stay there, continue to be used for that program.
So you have a fund for money right now for that program? Is there money put aside? Is there a lump sum?
Yeah, it was at 25,000 and now,
25,000.
we spent, I think we ended up, I just sent over the numbers to Shelby. I think it was like 6,500 was spent this summer.
Okay,
Yeah, we can actually up it a little bit.
It's line A7 310 401.
And then if you go to the cover sheet, you have a corresponding pull from fund balance, because that's where the money went, of 17,200.
got it, okay.
So Shelby, if we have the final expenditures, we should,
How many more years will I continue?
Well, from that money, probably 3,
3, okay.
and then we'll go from there. I hope 3, maybe 2, let's see.
We'll figure it out. And
Yeah.
again, Bethany, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, thank you for all the work you did on that and, working with the yacht club to pull together. And like I said, from my vantage point, it was a pretty huge success.
Yeah, I think so too.
It'll definitely go on for at least 2 more years. After that, I'm out, so.
I'll come knocking.
So if you go to page 22 and start line by line, what do you want to do with these numbers?
Well, I mean, from what Bethany has proposed versus Amber, what you've put in here, you've added another $1,000?
I did under senior recreation. This year, we had one program in March. I can't remember if it was St. Patrick's Day. It was
February.
okay, it was Valentine's. And it got paid, I guess, in March. So I added because there was a cost for providing that lunch from Stars Cafe. And so it was a cost that was shared equally between rec and seniors. So they, both Kelly and Bethany want to continue that program, so that extra $1,000 needs to be in there.
Okay.
We are trending, I think, to be over budget if we do that this year.
Okay.
1,300 is not enough.
And the $6,000 difference between what was actually spent last year on the modified budget, at least, and what we're asking for this year, that's really the lifeguard increase,
Yeah.
which kind of has to happen. Otherwise, we won't have any lifeguards.
It's harder and harder every year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure which lines you were referencing.
I think he's just
This one?
referencing the totals.
Yeah, the totals from the modified budget last year
Okay, got it.
to what we want to do for next year. It seems to be like a $6,000 increase, which we bumped to 7, and the 6,000 was really lifeguard salaries. And the 7 is the extra senior programs.
I see here that the recreation aid, you brought that down a little bit. It was 13,325 and proposed, and you have it in as 12,500.
Yeah, I just looked at what was trending and what we've historically spent on recreation needs. So that's
I don't
where
have-
I was trying to.
Yeah, I don't
to
have a
cut
problem with
that.
that.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
wasn't sure if like there was a change of
No,
program.
Yeah, no, I don't.
No.
Yeah.
I was looking to cut fat, so there's a tiny bit there, not much.
That's-
I mean, maybe a question to ask, and I am asking only because I have no idea. Are these programs, like you said, you're doing an outing to New York City, are they well attended?
Well, so the New York City one hasn't happened yet, so I can let you know once I get the numbers on that. But yeah, we filled the bus for our trip to the Mets game. The bus was completely filled.
Okay, good.
And yeah, our out to lunch bunches, those really aren't like a cost other than our driver because they pay for themselves on that. So other than me and Kelly staffing it, that's a cost that the seniors pay for their own lunches on those.
Okay.
On office and miscellaneous line, you have 10.2 as the recommended, but in the past, we've spent, in 23, it was, 11.5, and then 24, the actual was 10.4, so I wasn't sure if it should be 10.5 or 11 and split the difference. I'm not sure what you're projecting for office and miscellaneous, but I didn't want to like.
Is this under rec or under
702.
702,
484? We've been in the negative on that in the past?
No, we always over, so in
Over
24,
budget.
we had budgeted 12,300, you spent 10,400.
Oh,
So you were under what was
Yeah.
budgeted, but I was just wondering if, because you came in close, like
oh, sure.
10.4, she has 10.2 this year, I wasn't sure if we should stick with that or, it's probably fine, I don't know if you just have like a set number of expenses.
Lines are all messed up.
Meg, what page are you on?
On page
22.
22,
Oh, I see, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, my lines are like off on this.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. They're just up on.
Yeah, I just don't want to undercut if like you have a set number of mailings or, if you use so much paper a year.
So our rec software will probably go up 100. I mean, that's like cell phones, school heating, or, oh, no, we dropped that down. That's why we dropped that down, because we took out, that 2,000 and put it into the lifeguard, because I was using O&M for lifeguard supplies, like if we need to buy first aid kits or do CPR trainings.
Okay.
We were putting it from there when it should have its own separate line item. So that
Okay.
that will actually come from that lifeguard supplies and training. So that's where that 2 went and went from there into there.
I was gonna say too, like,
Yeah.
last year we did the mileage reimbursement.
Right, the mileage
Check on the
reimbursements,
lifeguard.
that will go.
Yeah.
That'll be in that separate line item, so we can better see where the spending is going.
Right, that makes sense. Okay, thank you.
And for whatever it's worth, I mean, we now have the Waterman numbers, and it's actually the balance now is 18,500. There's another $1,000 there somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was, I think I had anticipated, I think, of them taking a higher number when we had done this, so it ended up only being 27, so that's why that changed a little.
Mhm. Mhm.
But that will be budget neutral. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
reflected to keep the track of the balance.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, no, those were all my questions on this estimate.
I have no more questions.
Going to be above our revenue from the Fit Center on the plus side for this year, so we've already surpassed that.
Yeah, so we should go to
Let's look
page
at that.
33.
Let's look at the happy page.
Because we do have an update here. Bethany and I realized
Oh, yeah.
our community trips for that baseball game didn't get posted to the correct revenue line.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, that should be 4420 community trips, and then
Comes
That's
out
out
of
of youth.
442, so for the August 31st numbers.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
0.
so the new through number for youth is 36,725 and 91 cents. And then the new community trips through number is 4,420.
Does that make sense?
Yes. So then that being said, when I extrapolated to fees, I
Yeah.
extrapolated up to
I would-
49,000, but I had taken down
Yeah.
the community trips a couple thousand.
Yeah, I would feel more comfortable
Okay,
putting
cool.
community trips back
Yes.
up to 7.
So, let's see, 36,725.
Yes. Right, so you think the second community trip, then 7,000?
Yes, I would think that that is more appropriate for that. I think that 49 is a high number for us
Okay. Yeah,
for
now that you've
youth rec
taken that.
programs, especially
Yeah.
since we did end up in 2025 not running our, Charlie Binder didn't end up running his summer program, which brought in a lot of revenue for us. So I don't know what he'll do next summer. I can't, that's just name of the game with this stuff if people decide not to do it.
So we should bring the,
I fix that number here. So I still think still think you're a little low, but you're taking out that one program then.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'cause
It's so, sorry, it's so, we like break, like a lot of our numbers start to calculate really come like October after we like pay everyone and we have all of our funding in from the summer,
Yeah.
so to like do all of these numbers, and I'm also, I'll just be honest, I'm always like an undershooter, and then like if we get more, I'm like, great. I don't like to project myself for more than I realistically feel comfortable, so that's why those were my numbers that I presented to Amber.
Yeah, so you had 50,000 last year and 53 the year before. But if you're subtracting Charlie's program, how much did we bring in, do you think? 10. So, all right.
Yeah, my new extrapolation would be like closer to 43,000.
And that's what I was thinking. Okay.
Yeah, 43.5. What does board want to use?
I'll go 43. Anybody else?
It's down 6, up 2, that's a
Yeah, and then our
decrease of
our
4,000.
grant money for that, which I don't know what they'll do next year, but it was really nice. In 2024, we got 15,000 to do youth sport grant, but this 2025, they cut it to 5, so we'll see what they do next year.
Okay.
So we're going to be under budget on that in 2025.
On the youth sports.
Yeah, summer youth, South County Summer Youth Sports, A3772S.
So we'll keep it at the 5.
Yeah, I would
Because
because, yeah.
Yeah, they cutting the program then.
Do you want to change trips or keep that at 5?
Put that back to 7, you said, right?
Yeah.
And then Fit Center revenues. You
I
have
think
it
we can get that.
Can you get
I'm
92?
comfortable with that.
So our youth fees went down 45? Is that what you decided or keeping?
43.
Is there a reason that I don't want to like take money
No,
from
it's okay.
myself, but that you put this at from 10?
Yes, there was a reason.
Did we go over last year?
I think so. Actually, we have it on here.
I don't think you need to do that. You can cut it back down.
You think we can take it
I'm
back to
fine.
10?
Yeah.
For the equipment?
Yeah, the fit equipment, you can put that back down to 10.5. That's fine.
Yeah, I feel like there's some prior bills coming in a little bit higher.
Yeah, I feel like we're in good shape right now there, so, and I think we ended up doing that because we jumped on, they had stuff in stock that they had ordered for another gym that they didn't want, I don't know if you remember this, that they
Yeah.
didn't, another gym didn't want, and they were like, we can give it to you at a reduced price, so we took it ahead of the,
Schedule.
yeah, because we didn't want to pass up on the opportunity.
That makes sense.
Sorry, I told her she could take fit equipment back down to 10.5, Shelby.
10.
Okay, I didn't know if you heard me.
Yeah, because we were over in 2024. I believe we're over in 2023.
So you had something break one year, so you had to replacement, yeah. with the
But I
treadmill.
feel like we're in good shape right now at
Yeah.
fit, so,
I feel like you had replaced the things that were
yeah.
eating it.
Other than the leaks.
Right, but that's gonna happen. That's also school. They're gonna do it. Fingers crossed.
Really good when that happens.
That would be great. It will be great. And then we won't have to worry about the equipment rusting.
Let's hope.
It'll save us money.
Yeah, no, I just reopened up 2023 actual. Yeah, we were close to 30,000 on bid equipment that year.
That might have been when we did our.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, sorry. I don't know. I'd
didn't
have
look
to
at
go
the
back
details.
and look.
Yeah, I
at
didn't look at the
everything, but-
details, but that's why I just was concerned. We didn't
Yeah,
have
that might have been
enough
when we did our contract.
Yeah.
And then. But I don't anticipate
Mhm.
needing more than that.
So everything, so senior recreation is staying the same. I'm hearing this. All of the salaries are staying the same, no adjustments there. Bid equipment is going from 12,500 to 10,500. The fit center maintenance through office and miscellaneous is staying at the 35,200.
Right.
Lifeguards and lifeguard supplies and training are staying where they've been proposed. I guess you have the final youth waterman number since I'm.
Did I send it to you?
I wrote it, it's on a sticky note.
Sorry.
Okay, all right,
I'm
well,
the worst. I
I'm
should
just-
just email her. I always just stop it and give her numbers and then.
I'm just gonna highlight that.
Yeah, because we did,
I can tell.
what the invoice was less the revenue,
Yeah,
because we
I'll-
did charge a little bit,
Yeah,
and then.
but it was like some change was what was spent.
All right, that's fine. It's,
Ben mentioned what it was.
as I said before,
It said
it's,
8.5,
it's budget neutral, so.
Yeah.
So on the expenditure side, we've decreased the expenditures 2,000. That's what I have to.
Because we took down the youth fees, that went down, and then we increased the community trips. And then, yeah, so I have 170,000, 216. Instead of 174,000.
$187,416, you said? Are you looking at it?
No, I have 170,
You're in recreation revenue?
I hope so, yeah. 170, 216. Take that 17.2 out of the top. Oh, you have Waterman. Yours is formatted differently than mine. Oh, you had the donations, you carried that Waterman over as a donation. I don't have
have
it.
it, I have an in and an out,
Okay,
because I have it in.
that's not in mine.
Oh, no, you're right.
Yeah, because we have it on the cover.
Right. I think that's-
7216,
yeah.
okay. That's all your categories.
I don't. Albert, Gordon, do you guys have any questions?
No, I mean, I'm looking at your proposed budget numbers were actually inflated. Just increased for reasons I can see. Just, you do keep the budget as best you can, Bethany, I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, some
So
of
the
those numbers haven't
expenditures were-
changed in the 8 years I've been
Not
here, so.
expenditures, but just,
On the
you
revenue
know,
side?
I was complimenting her.
Yes, no,
Proposed
no,
number
I just,
is a safe number, good number, you keep careful, yeah.
Try. In line.
but that is to some extent how fund balance is created. You're done.
Okay.
I think you're done. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Bethany.
Thanks, Bethany.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That posted, so I can put that before he's here. Mark my pages. At the top of the A.
Might as well, until
So we have Liz at 3, right?
we have Liz at 3.
Okay.
So we have 15 minutes, we think. Did what? An hour and 15?
Hour
Yeah.
15, yeah.
So page 5.
Maybe the question is, so, well, no, never mind. So, I mean, the community housing board has its own income now and its own kind of budget. Why is it still in our budget?
We're not, we were gonna adjust that when Liz comes in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were starting on page 5.
Page 5. Why am I on page 23? Hold on.
One of the A fund.
Yeah, 6. Okay, page 5. Oh. Okay, I'm on page 5.
So overall, this category was a 2% increase, $9,000 increase, and Ethics Board Professional Services was one of the increases. And professional services, professional services.
Provides the ethics board, legal service, professional services.
Can you say that louder? I just didn't hear you.
Who provides the professional services for the ethics board?
Oh, Steve Leventhal.
Okay. I didn't know if there was anything else involved with that.
Just realized professional services is in this category.
For Association of Towns, I mean, it looks like your plan is to bring half the people we brought, not even a quarter of the people we brought last year?
Yep.
Okay.
How much is it for someone to go to Association of Towns? How much is it per person?
All right, so if someone's able to sign up this year before there's an early bird discount, which I believe is October 31st. For a 2-day trip between the registration fee, the hotel, which is where you get the early bird discount, transportation and meals, it's 1,036 was what it was last year. So I'm, with inflation adjusted, I'm saying 1,100 basically. If it's late, it goes up a little bit, 1,166. And then there are people that go for 3 days, which is 1,524. So my idea for the town board line was we are going to have 1 or 2 new town board members, and maybe a new supervisor. So I put in a budget for 2, budgeting at a late cost.
Okay.
Okay. And how do we, I mean, let's just say I would like to go this year. I'm a bit of a special case because I don't need the hotel.
For someone who is a resident in New York City, then it's only a $446, so $450 cost.
Okay, seems like a bargain.
I think we should, I feel like we should budget for 3 people.
You have a supervisor and then 2 board members.
I was just.
So the Association of Towns is broken down into multiple areas. This is what we're looking at right now, is only the town board.
Correct.
There's multiple fee structures too, depending on when you can register.
Got it, okay. So we, our budget last year was at 6,800. We basically spent 3,800.
So half the people. Yeah, I had keeping it at the 3,800. What was it? It was 3 people who went last year? 3 or 4? Who went to Association of Towns? Raise your hand.
I went,
I think I sometimes get rolled into
Yeah,
Interesting.
and Christina.
Christina.
Christina was in
So
there too.
Christina,
I did not go last
Like, I
year.
think
community housing was a separate, and that was in a separate
Yes,
section.
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Albert, you didn't go,
I
right?
didn't go.
All right, so it was Christina Shelby, Gordon,
Right.
Amber. And Ben, you didn't go?
I did not go this year. I went in 2024.
Okay, so we had 4 people. Although, are Shelby and Christina come under the supervisor's budget
Yes.
for Association of Towns? So
Yes.
it was just the 2 people, like 2 board members who went last year.
I mean, I would like to go this year, but I'm 450. I'm, much
Right.
less than anybody else.
Yeah, I would like to go because I didn't go last year.
Does that number seem correct, though, what was spent? 38?
Newly elected officials, did you go to that, Gordon?
Yes.
So that's in there as well.
Right.
So that wasn't the Association of Towns, it was the newly elected, I mean, it's the Association of Towns, but it's the newly elected that's in January, and then Association of Towns in February. So that cost would have been in there too. I'm just looking.
Just the late sign up.
The late sign up It adds, last year it added 44 plus 30, $74.
Oh, okay, so that's not too bad.
I think out of that line was Amber, Christina, Coco, and myself this year. But then we have to ask Judy if she separates out like the hotel charges to all the individual lines.
She does. She has a spreadsheet on this. We're not the only one with spreadsheets.
So if we have one early sign up, like if one of us knows we're going, one late sign up because it's a newly elected, and then Benjamin, that's $2,675. Because he's what, 400 and something,
450.
450. So it's 27. It would probably be good to have. Yeah, 38.
So that's what you all want to move it to?
That's what I would like to move it to. I don't know about everybody else. I don't know who I would like to go because I didn't go last year. Benjamin would like to go. I figure there's going to be a newly elected person. So I think it would probably be good for 4 people to go because the supervisor should go. Newly elected and then, I mean, I can always skip it if it's a problem, but I didn't go last year. It would be nice to go and learn a lot.
So what are we're doubling that number? That's there.
Just taking it to 38.75. Like essentially what we spent last year, modified budget. Print and advertising, I have a question about that. I'm just going down the line.
I had forgotten to print out my professional, like what I have on professional services on the details of that, so I'm just printing that right now.
Okay.
What was your thinking on that, Amber?
Hold on a second, my brain's elsewhere.
Yeah.
Sorry, since Benjamin's not here, I need to email this to him, so.
Okay.
Sorry, what was that?
Since you're not here in person, I need to email this professional services spreadsheet, so I'm just trying to copy it over.
Okay. Well, if we're at 130 now and 80 left and you project across the next couple of months, I could do the math, I guess. What's the trending? Where does it end up at December 31?
Everyone?
Professional services?
Yes.
I've got a spreadsheet, like, that's what I'm trying to get to you. I've got the projection built in there.
Oh, okay. Got it.
That's what I'm trying to copy over for you right now.
And we have a copy of that?
I'm printing it, but I'm also trying to get it so that Benjamin gets it at the same time.
This printer's off.
No, I sent it to my printer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, since this is in SharePoint and it's in the supervisor's stuff, I can't,
Can you
like,
copy and paste it?
that's what I'm trying to, I have to copy and paste because the access,
Mhm.
otherwise one's
It's restricted.
yeah. Saved.
Is that an answer? Does anybody want a cup of water? I just took care of myself.
No, thanks.
Take it, Amy.
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll take one, Albert.
I have a better idea. And I didn't send it.
Thank you.
I'll copy it to you, Christina, so you can add it to the budget online. Give me just a second, Benjamin. I just scanned and emailed it to myself.
Cityscape. What's that program?
Cityscape is that cell tower study.
Oh, right, thank you.
It would look familiar, but I couldn't figure out why. All right, so just, in there, you just got all the various, professional services that we have. So put in what we had spent, because this is a spreadsheet that I had started last year. So I had the 2023 actual numbers, the 2024 actual numbers, what we budgeted last year, that gets us to the 208,550, which is in the current budget. Yeah, adopted budget. And then the January through August actual numbers for these categories. And okay, actually, so Shelby, you had made those journal entries.
Yeah.
And what we've got in our August 31, okay. All right, I was just gonna say, because at one point that number on the spreadsheet, or on the budget column was 274, so I had to subtract out what was getting moved, which was the audit on PKF O'Connor Davies got pushed to the wrong place, and then Leventhal and Whalen Filer, 79,425 is getting moved down to the town attorney section. So in looking at Cullen and Danowski, that's where we anticipate ending up for the year, which is in line with the budget. Lamb Ornowski, which then became Keen and Bean. We had budgeted 62,500. Where we're trending right now, I'm anticipating 65,485, but you never know. Depends on what kinds of,
Issues arise?
yes, personnel issues arise. Mezziano Consulting, she's trending to be just slightly under budget. General Code went up in price a little bit. Jefferson Solutions, which is our GASB 75 compliance, or General Code is Town Code. Jefferson Solutions, GASB 75 compliance is just slightly expected to be over, slightly over budget. PW Grosser, just on like secra things that they weighed in on for us at the town board. That one about $10,700 over budget. Burlow Hill, $6,600 over budget is where we're trending. Miscellaneous, and then the cityscape got added last year, so we had not budgeted, but that's where we anticipated to end up this year. So this year, we started with a budgeted 208,550. We'll see if we can end the year with 243,675. And then I went ahead and did looking at budget for 2026. You can see most everything, the 2025 estimate to 2026 budget, the only thing being PW Grosser. Just if we now have the ability to bill it to applicants, so therefore, so on. This wouldn't be for wetlands permits because that's what takes place over in the B fund, but it would be for site plan review, the savings that we get there.
Okay.
And to finish off the cityscape, about 4,700. So that's how I got to a budget of 213. And Benjamin, you're muted.
The 4,700 for cityscape. What is that? I mean, is it filing fees? Is it?
I know that was, I don't, if you remember last year, we had an ability to sign up with the surrounding Southold, North Haven,
Yes.
Sag Harbor, for the cell tower study.
Yes.
So, like, it's something that's in our comprehensive plan to try and understand where we have lapses in coverage. The fire district came in and made a case for like having us do this study so that they have the ability when they do fall back to cell and also call outs on cell phones that they, that we know where our gaps in coverage are. Southold is further along in the process than we are. And so they may be in a position, and if they do some of the fixes for their areas, it may boost some service in some of our areas as well.
Okay. And on the Keenan Bean, Lamb and Bornowski, I know we talked about this a lot because we have a retainer, but it doesn't include all our activities and their costs outside the monthly retainer.
That's correct. Yeah.
So I guess I need to better understand that, but we don't have to do it right now. Because,
Yeah, that contract goes through the end of 2026.
Mhm.
And then we should look at, I've started an analysis just tracking over last year and this year, what falls under the retainer and what is outside of the scope. To see whether, like, how we want to,
Renegotiate.
just.
I'm sorry, you said that the contract goes through 2026.
Benjamin, before this schedule, you got to look at this, you had a proposal for professional fees?
I thought that contract was negotiable at any given time. I remember reading that contract. That's not, I mean, it was there through 2026, but it could be,
Separate?
yes.
All right, let's take a look at that. We should do
Okay.
that in executive session.
And I'm pretty sure of that.
Okay. Or if you-
I said we have Jefferson Solutions who are tracking the GASB 75 compliance,
Mhm.
which that's not the GASB for the reserve fund. That's like GASB 15 or something like that.
I'm not in that part of the accounting world anymore, so.
No, it's GASB 54 is the fund balance advice. Okay. I'm just tracking this out loud, sorry. Um, so now the PW grosser number, that goes down because we're billing back for that, correct?
Yes, yes. In 2026, we should be done with all applications, hopefully with site plan review, where we do not incur any further site plan review PW grocer fees.
Yeah, this is labor council number. Let's,
What is Perillo Hill, this line item for? Is this for
That is-
outside
That's for
Article
us.
78?
Yeah, litigation services. Because there is also Perillo Hill representing the ZBA, but those professional services are in the B fund.
in there.
Justice Court. What's his name, Locke?
That done. Done. Wayland Filer is now doing that for us.
So where does, maybe I'm missing this, the Leventhal Whaler, to date, it's 80.
But that I moved down into the town attorney section
Oh, got it.
so that we could track that separately.
Okay. So whatever that is, it's in addition to the 213.
Correct.
Right.
They both went to the town attorney, or does Wayland go to the planning board?
Planning board.
Well, there's a separate bill for planning board. Right. And then the town attorney services separate bill.
That Thomas is
So the
provided.
reason for moving Leventhal, Wayland Filer here, I mean, it was originally posted here because it was professional services. But then when Shelby and I were going through the whole budgeting process, it made more sense because Wayland Filer and even Leventhal was offsetting a employee town attorney that let's compare against that salary to what we're paying them.
Right.
Otherwise, we would have had to move 150,000 plus up into this section.
You know, in the planning board section, there's not attorney fees in that.
Professional services.
So it'll be this is an additional to that. Okay.
People are done with the professional services one, I have.
Okay, you had something on.
Yeah,
Office and
so,
miscellaneous?
yeah, office and miscellaneous, no, sorry, print and advertising. Line A 495. I think that's under budget for what we've been spending, so I was wondering if there's a reason.
There is a reason.
Because on average, it's, 7,500, 7,400 this year, 8,300.
Wait, I think I got a spreadsheet. Of course. 195? Yes.
Yes.
Print advertising. Okay, so I broke that down because we got like, the best that I could because the fees come in the charges come in from the Times Review, kind of lumped together, but we've got town board, we've got posting for laws and resolutions, we've got posting for public hearings, we have employee hiring that goes through there. Our search for town attorney this year
Right.
was $4,900 alone. And then committees,
Right.
which is also trying to find committee volunteers. So year-to-date, I have 11,045. Is that?
Here it's lower, but you might have more recent billing there.
Oh, no, this was to year end. This was me
Oh,
extrapolating.
okay,
So,
yeah,
yes,
840.
Yeah, 8467 is what I had, and then I extrapolated to 11,000.
Right.
If we take out the attorney search, that we don't have to do that, then I was able to pull 4,900. I also, for some of the employee hiring in the committees, we were doing display advertising. I have put a stop to that.
Okay.
We've moved into classifieds. It's much less
Much cheaper.
expensive. So you will not see this, throughout the paper. I think if someone's going to be looking for, especially a job, they're going to go to the classified section.
Okay.
So, there are no, I just
That works.
costs where we got.
Yes.
Plans are expensive.
They are
That's
expensive.
why when I signing bills on that, I was like,
Even the smallest.
Yeah, they're expensive. Okay, so then
so that's why I took it to 50.
56?
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds sound to me.
So what do you want to do with line by lines?
Sort of did, right?
No, I mean, like, accept what's on the supervisor column. Are there any columns that you want to change? We want to highlight the professional services just to take a look at legal, labor counsel to see whether or not that is a contract that could be negotiated for
Yeah.
2026, or if we have to keep it.
We can look at that. What does everybody else think?
Yeah, I think that's the one I think that we could take a look at,
Sure, doesn't
the item one.
But the rest of them you're good with?
The salaries can stay the same.
Yes, salary, there's no increase in
For elected.
elected salaries, so that's all staying the same.
So you have other employees and some of that.
I figured we'll look
got
at,
lost.
yeah, I'm not listening. I think we'll look at all the salaries separately, like the employee salaries, we'll look at together later.
Well, I handed out, Shelby, she and I had reconciled them, so just before the meeting
Right,
started.
I just wasn't sure if you wanted to go through them.
Christina
at the-
noticed dresses. Oh, it's still on.
It's fine, yeah, there's a.
So the only thing I changed was Association of Towns.
Yeah, that,
Yeah, where did you land on that? 'Cause I was guessing.
3814, I just kept it as what it was budgeted for last year.
14.
They always do go up a little bit, so I don't know if you want to.
So should we just do
slight
39?
Increase.
3,900? Because when I did the math for two early, one late, and then Ben, it came out to like 3875. So if we do 3,900, that's probably sufficient.
$900.
Yeah, okay. Is $25 worth of wiggle room?
Is 3 people.
Well, 3 people in Ben, I'm counting Ben as half a person because you don't have to pay for the hotel room. 3.5.
And the one thing that it doesn't do is it doesn't, that does not include newly electeds in January. But somebody could opt to go to newly electeds in
Mhm.
Albany or Rochester and
Right.
skip,
And skip.
you know,
Or if someone can't go, then you have that money to use for newly elected. Depending on how everything shakes out,
Mhm.
we'll see what we need.
Mhm.
What do you think, do you have the prices on that?
If you can register, but I'm not finding the price.
Last year's, but
Usually when Judy's got that, she starts to open up conversations about that.
Yes, if it's available. I'm not finding the price.
Justice Court. Like we said, we weren't asking them to come in. No increase for electeds.
employee stays the same.
Yeah, the only thing that we've done with new employees in the past is our new court clerk just started the beginning of September. So historically, what we've done is looked at, for them, you know, for this person would have to go a year and 4 months without a raise. So what we've done in the past is sort of looked like, okay, what would the percentage of the raise be? You know, so if we're using 2.5%, it would be what, 0.75% for, you know, if we did a mid-year raise. We never want to do mid-year's raises because then it just creates chaos as far as payroll goes and keeping track of it. So sometimes we've just done like a 0.25% that covers the whole year so that the person gets a little bit of their bump up right away, but it's not the full 2.5%. And then they're on track the following year. I didn't know if you wanted to go with that historical practice.
I'm going to recuse myself
Oh,
from this
yeah.
specific conversation.
Yeah.
And let everybody else make that decision.
Yeah, although it is a little bit of a policy decision because we do have a couple of other hires in the mix. So
Oh,
that's
that's
2.5 divided by 12.
I mean, as a policy, I'm okay with that.
So it'd be like a 0.83% increase, just asking the question.
So you're given a 1/4 point now, and then,
We don't do mid-year unless it's in highway or police contract. Because those are a different.
it's fine by me. I mean, the real effect is negligible, so.
My brain is not working. It would be like a $545 increase.
Was that in,
It would be a $545 increase.
if it's common practice?
I mean, it's just historically what we've done. So 65545. This also starts the employee the following year, a slight bump up. Under their travel section, what is in there is the 2,500 is a Nashville conference that Mary Faith wants to go to, a conference that Stan might be interested in, plus the travel expenses for Mary Faith's participation with the East End Drug Court.
Okay.
So I put the ask in there, but I kind of had highlighted it like, is this a year to allow some bigger travel?
I don't think so. But
I'd want to keep in the Eastern Drug Task Force, Mary Faith's attendance to that.
It would be 600.
That's 600.
Mhm.
Okay.
is that inside the travel number?
Yes,
Mhm.
so 1,900 was for the conferences.
Where are the two conferences?
One's in Nashville and then Stan, like, put in something, but I don't think he had specified, at least not in my notes, Shelby, I don't know if you had it in yours.
So they didn't spend any of this money this year.
Right.
Unless are these conferences we're talking about in the fall? And will the 2,500 get spent?
The 2,500 is not likely to get spent.
Okay.
So right now, the 233.50 is Mary Faith's travel. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so the reason I think I kept it in on the request side was just because she did not choose to go to any of the conference this year. They also opted to not go to Association of Towns, but Claudine as clerk did.
Who's going to the conference?
Mary Faith.
Nashville?
Yeah, Mary Faith is the Nashville one.
Yeah, I don't have anything about Stan.
I just said Stan also.
Mary Faith, the conference and then drug court, ferriage and travel.
I had penciled in 1,500 for that line instead of the 25, just looking at what they had spent in the past. Figured it was 500 in 2023 and then 1,300 in 2024. So I figured if they actually went to a conference or something, it would probably be.
We can also continue to highlight it and ask them to come in and
Yeah, and explain what they want. That's fine.
it's everyone's preference.
Yeah, might as well. Call them in. And why didn't they go this year?
I don't recall. I don't think they gave a reason.
That's a question for them. Okay.
Questions on any of the other?
For interpreter, I had 2,800. I know that
I
seems.
had $115 per session for the interpreter times 26 court dates / arraignments.
Okay.
They have court twice a month and then once in a while on an arraignment, they need to bring somebody in. So that's how I got to
That's made
26.
up, okay. Oh, you have 26 in there. In my number, I must have actually made a typo because it had 2,990.
Yes,
So-
that's what I have.
Oh, okay.
On contracts, I ended up bumping it up $1,000 from the 7,000 because the copier and parking violations payment system.
Okay.
I don't think that was proper, the parking violation payment system, I don't think was properly reflected in the numbers.
Contracts or copiers?
Yeah.
And the collection.
Yeah, the parking violation
Yeah.
collection.
Not
Yes, I guess.
The software.
No, they have a contract with a vendor that follows up on parking tickets that are unpaid, and then that vendor
Okay.
keeps like a percentage of the revenue.
That only applies to parking tickets?
Yes.
Mhm. Can we expand it? I mean, I don't know how it works. I mean, for instance, we have these fire alarm fees.
That's not part of the justice court system. I mean, until we take it as a small claim.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
the
guess
parking violations are coming out of the vehicle law, New York State. I think of the right acronym, but whatever it is, it's New York State, moving violations versus town code violations.
Okay.
Yeah, office and miscellaneous, again, I had online, I had it at 5,000. I wasn't sure if there was.
Yeah, I look back at history, the internet's 123 a month, plus law books, plus supplies. I did a little bit of a detailed breakdown.
All right,
See if there's anything.
if you think that's fine.
Yeah, they're like annual dues for Suffolk County Magistrates Association is in there. I mean, I did take it down $1,000 because historically they haven't used it all.
Right.
The alleys are in there.
We'll keep it at 58. Association of Towns, you have one person going,
Yeah, I figured,
new clerk,
the new clerk.
good idea. We'll go, we can share a room, save money. Then my other one was stenographer.
$417 times 24 court dates, plus occasionally there's overtime.
Okay. Just because we haven't spent that much in the past. It was 9,500, then 9,800, so 10 sufficient unless they're getting more cases.
Well, no, what it is I'm putting in for 24 court dates. Every once in a while, court does get canceled, like in the winter months. It also got canceled in one date in September, but
Right,
you can't count on that.
right, you can't bank on court getting canceled.
Yeah.
All right. That's fine.
All right, so. Just the increase.
So travel is the only thing we're questioning there.
Travel we're questioning, and we need this slight change for the justice court clerk.
Right.
So shall we just remember to make that in your salary schedule change too? We reconcile. Actually, just put that at 65,550, just as I'm trying to keep things somewhat round. Supervisor section.
Nobody had any more comments on justice court?
The only
Yeah.
revenue is on, at page 29, what I'm, what, at the Zoom.
Yeah, I mean, there's revenue for, under the town board section and revenue for,
I'm talking about Justice Court, their fines. That's where all their fines are collected, right?
yeah,
Yes.
what page are you on?
I'm on 29.
Yeah. We never know what to expect on the JCAP grants, New York State. So we generally don't put them in. If they see a need for something, usually it's a piece of equipment that is required for the court system, and so they'll try and get it through a grant. So then like you'll see the modified budget for 2025 went up 2,000. So
So the total fines, this is, this is for court. This is 35,000.
yes, yeah, I'm sorry, I was on the line above it, but
Yeah.
if you don't need an explanation, I won't bother. So 35,000 is, yeah, what we expect. Unless they change bail reform, and we start to collect bail again and have it forfeited. That's why we have a decrease from 2024.
These are building permit fines and that type of fines, all fines.
Mostly traffic,
Enforcement
right?
Is it enforcement fines?
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking.
or just
Or just traffic tickets and,
traffic?
It's all, well, it's like, it's the town ticket, like police tickets.
Yeah, I think.
Police has their own revenue page, don't they?
yeah.
I'm trying
And a portion of it gets sent back to the state.
Right.
So
I was
we
gonna say,
collect this money, deposit it, and then we get a bill from the comptroller's office that we have to
Have to
pay
pay them a
the
certain
state a
portion.
certain
right?
portion. And it's like certain things, the town keeps the full revenue, and then other things, a portion gets sent to the state.
So the parking tickets, the state gets a piece of.
So the vehicle,
Something like that, yeah.
They get a
We have
percentage.
to ask Justice Court.
on only the vehicle tickets or everything that we
I
collect?
think we would ask for.
And enforcement as well is
know?
included in that?
And the building violations, is there any financial fine for that? That's bare minimum.
And the
Now,
town,
those typically rarely get to court, and then they go forever.
right.
Very rarely some financial.
Right.
In the building department fines are in a different location? Or is this all included?
That's the building revenue, because it's something illegal, they don't fine.
Right.
It's very, goes all the way to the court.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's in the building permit revenue side.
I feel like this is mainly driving, like speeding tickets.
Yeah, speeding, parking.
Yeah.
Short-term rentals?
No.
No, that's in the building.
Yeah.
yeah, because it's,
Because then you have to get a permit from the building department and there's added fines for that, so.
yeah, and when we look.
You get a permit, you have to pay for a permit, but if there's a fine, is that
If you're found in violation, you
violation?
have to get a permit, but the permit is more expensive because of the violation. Because you didn't have it to begin with, so now you have to pay the fine.
When you have a permit and you get a fine, you can get a permit, have a permit already and get a fine, correct?
But that's within the building.
But that's in the, yeah, it's in the building department. So, yes, you can, but it doesn't go through the court.
Okay.
It goes through the building department.
And they always pay them. They never go to court?
I never say always.
But,
Very
yeah.
rarely, by the time it gets to court, it's typically, in compliance typically gains, and the case is typically dropped.
They have outstanding, they could have outstanding fines that are not paid.
Well, no, I mean, the objective is to gain compliance.
Exactly, absolutely.
So if they're gaining compliance, then there are no fines for them to pay. If they paid for their
permit at the added fee because they were non-compliant, then that's it. I mean, if there's some ongoing violation, I don't think we really have that situation.
There are a couple cases hanging, but they're all working towards the compliance, and they've been
Right.
adjourned based on working towards the compliance.
Right. So I guess the answer is no, we don't have a lot of that. Supervisor?
Yeah, so are we leaving, since we went down to revenues, are we leaving the revenues where they are?
I am. You guys think we should adjust revenues for the court?
I was just looking at the 2024 actual of 63,000, and I just was wondering why it was so different.
Is that before bail reform? Were people still paying bail?
No. Let's have Mary Kate when she comes in.
Yeah, we'll have them explain.
Okay.
All the justice court audits.
And did we want to go back and go through town board revenue since we did the town board section, or do we want to go back and do that later?
Do you guys? Yeah, I was going page by page, and if we had department heads coming in, then we have
Yeah.
them go through their sections.
I
since
think
they're
that
here.
makes sense, going page by page, I'm fine
Mhm.
with how we were doing it.
So we're doing revenues or expenses?
I was doing expenses. Expenses,
Page 6, right?
Yes.
page 6. Supervisor.
So
Salaries stay the same for elected.
elected, me, you, it's flat. And then 2.5% for all of the staff.
Mhm.
And I'm just trying to think.
Overtime stayed around 500, which is,
Mhm.
I think that's okay.
Yeah.
Clerks.
Shelby, I know you sent the salary analysis to me. Did you send it to everybody?
Yes, they all have it in front of them.
Okay.
What we've done in the past is we've gone over all the salaries at the same time. Instead of trying to do it.
Yeah, well, it's just there for you to see, but
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, actually, yeah, when I did send this to you. Oh. This is not the right one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had done the 2026 and I had just correct. Okay, so what got handed out?
So we have a
Something
wrong
that-
salary sheet.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll just address these later. This one's wrong.
Yeah, let's see. 26, just.
Yeah. See, I had that in the last, when I pulled every line, I had done insane.
And I went through and I pulled every staff line and put it in a different page. I had that 35, I was like, that doesn't look right
Yeah,
at all.
no, okay, I don't know why that didn't share correctly.
And I still, this was mine that I had handed out originally,
Yeah,
you sent me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
I have your digital one that I've made my notes on already. But,
I just reshared it. I'm just curious if I, like, take a look to see whether or not that's correct now. I can also print mine. How about that?
for some reason, whenever I pulled all the lines, the numbers did not come out.
Yeah, I mean, this is so hard to read.
Yeah, I think it's,
Is it still coming through with,
If you printed on 11 by 17, it's good.
yeah, no, but also there's a piece down at the bottom that has the
What are we
details.
saying? This is the wrong sheet.
Yeah, it doesn't show
Okay.
the breakdown for the clerks, which shows which committees and what the role is. Because that's really what you wanted to see is, for Christina, Coco, and Jess, they're in multiple places in the budget. It's gonna, here.
you still have the clerks that aren't
2026 isn't showing.
on yours that you sent me.
So the 2026 piece isn't coming through?
Your sheet open?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So if you look at column E, line 41.
It's like
Blank.
DeSantis. I don't know what you're looking at.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
opening up.
I was gonna say E41's
That's
blank.
weird, so it's not sending, when I say share, it's not sending the right file.
It's, Coco and Jess are still not
Okay,
correct, so.
yeah, because they're correct in mine, what I'm looking at, right? We'll look at this afterwards.
Just pull this out.
Yeah, so toss this one, and we will email this, if you can print it like later, but we'll email it to you, because it does, you'll want to look at it closer, because then you can start to see organization-wide where people, like who's working 40 hours a week, who's 35 hours, who's 30 hours a week. It's got their salaries combined from all the different locations. It also shows longevity payments. It shows anyone that gets an extra stipend. It has their hourly rates. And then it's also got 2025 in there as well as 2026. So you can sort of see the progression over the years. Sorry about that. Operator error, really.
Okey-dokey.
All right. Okay, so getting back to the supervisor's budget. You'll be able to look at those salaries in more detail in the supervisor section. Just to understand people who have roll-ups. And then going down to ADP, I think I was able to lower that just a little bit. Equipment that's never been used, so I just got rid of it. I guess that would be like a new desk, a new chair, like something.
Right.
So ADP, the upgrade to time and attendance wasn't as high as I thought it was going to be this year. So that's why I was able to drop that budget 10,000.
Okay, great.
It's really explaining.
Office and miscellaneous.
I just extrapolated from where things were trending. And the same with service contracts. There's like car, business solutions for the copy machine. There's accounting and fixed asset software goes in there as well. And then school travel and mileage, really, that's just when I attend Suffolk County and East End supervisors and mayors meetings, it's usually the ferry passes.
What are the service contracts?
It is the copy machine as well as
Williamson, the
the
accounting program.
the accounting software and the fixed asset software. Human resources. We have time for human resources before community housing. Yeah, so the salary was, the 2.5%. Overtime, I just lowered that a little bit. Yeah, longevity is longevity.
Now, I know she's been working on getting all the files and stuff up to date. But she did need additional money for purchasing office supplies to do organization related.
But she has 5,500 in here. Yeah, she put 5,500 in. I think like part of what she had in her notes were folders, filing system, printing of the 2025 employee handbook. I think that that will happen in 2025, so we don't need to carry that over to
Okay.
2026. She's been making good progress on that.
So it would be the updated version of the handbook, right? Printing that
Yeah.
for everybody.
Mhm. And then the service contracts, she is trying to find something like NeoGov, just to be able to track employees throughout the organization. The current system, when she came into being, was, paper file folders with everyone's information, not easily findable, not all in one place, can't track who's taken their training, sexual harassment, workplace violence, any of those types of things. So she's trying to make it so that instead of doing it on a spreadsheet, she's got some software in order to keep track of the training. And then Association of Towns, just because I was cutting everybody back to the bare minimum this year, she had put in for Association of Towns and I took it out, so. So it's, the question how the town board feels about it and if Coco wants to come in and advocate for restoring that, as well as restoring the office and miscellaneous.
What's the service contracts?
That would be the software that she wants to get, like pending, like NeoGov or something like that, to track all of the employees and what kind of training, if they've taken their sexual harassment training and the workplace violence training.
independent audit, town board and other things. You can handle one more.
I think we can do that one.
Contractual, right?
Yes. That one, we got the quote on.
We did?
I'm trying to think if we got the quote on that, or was it Cullen and Demowski, the contract accounts we got?
No, this is for PKF. So we don't have an engagement letter yet for
This is for the
25 audit.
Let me just double check if I had an estimate or if he had, if Jeff DeWolly had gotten back to me. Just double check, maybe I didn't get that updated. He can hold the fee at the same level for 2026 as it was for 2025.
Okay,
That was,
74.8.
so 74.8.
yeah, I think you can go to 74.8 then. Yeah. Just on that one, Shelby, just double check because that's the big audit, which the townwide audit, as well as the justice court audit. So just double check that both of those fees are incorporated in there.
And not CPF, right?
No, CPF is paid for out of CPF and WQI.
Mhm.
Is that one audit or two separate?
It would be two separate audits because we've got the big audit
Yeah.
and the justice court audit. It's much smaller. I guess Liz isn't here yet. We could go with tax receiver. It's another one that's not too heavy of a lift. Yeah. No, she hasn't used it for anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like it's small enough that it can come out of office and miscellaneous, but it was 0 for 2023, 0 for 2024. 0 so far for this year, so I even have a line.
This equipment?
Yes, for the tax receiver.
Yeah.
35 seems right for postage.
Yeah, I was gonna say on the postage, I think I was working with the line number, thinking that she had done all of her postage with the,
Hmm.
yeah. So that we should probably take up to 3,500.
Yeah. I had the 3,500.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Yeah, it's also, because through June 30th, postage shipping at 0, and I thought I had seen something maybe in July. So I thought 3,300 would work.
I had 35 just in case postage.
That too. On the computer software, I think the assumption was that there'd be a 5% increase.
What does that come in, like at the end of the year or something, computer software?
I think so, yeah. It's the Edmunds Tax Receiver Program.
Yeah, Edmunds got,
Familiar.
yeah, the tax collection software, it was paid last year in 2024 in October.
So it just hasn't come in yet.
Yeah.
Office and miscellaneous looks correct to me.
Okay.
No comments on that. I'm gonna put the names of the impact.
Okay.
Don't be
Right?
in front of me.
That's fine. You guys been out of for a minute.
Yeah, for 2 hours.
The numbers start to swim.
Look at that, opened right up to the page.
Oh,
It's a little scary.
If I could-
Page 23.
Well, it's close though.
Twenty-three?
23.
23.
So the real question here is, why is any of this in our budget?
We're waiting for Meg and Shelby to come back.
Okay.
Read your email till late last night and I didn't have the schedule in front of
No,
me.
no, you're totally fine, you're totally fine. I was in a conference yesterday too, so I couldn't get too chill.
We did it.
Yeah, we figured it out, we're here, we did it.
Oh, yeah, I have the same thing.
Yeah.
Get right to the spreadsheet.
Great.
Page 23, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to recap, we have total expenditures of 74,100 in this budget. However, the 20,000 for site plan, the legal fees related to site plan review of the South Ferry Road property is going to come out of the Community Housing Fund. And then the consulting fees of 30,000 for the updated community housing plan survey to do the update was 30,000. So that was coming from the CDBG, the Community Development Block Grant. So of the 74, 24,100 is left that is coming out of tax revenues right now. So the question, Ben, you're asking is, why is even that 24,100 being paid for by taxpayer dollars as opposed to? And if you're talking, you're muted.
Sorry. And that 24 is made up of advertising, communication, and what else?
Those services,
Legal services
the clerk,
and the clerk. Okay, got
office
it.
miscellaneous,
Okay.
and then I had taken out Association of Towns because I was cutting back on Association of Towns for everybody in the 2026 budget.
So if it's okay, I asked to address, but you guys can.
You know, I just wanted to set the stage
Yeah,
as to
absolutely.
where we are.
So I guess I just wanted to say that I think that, I don't know if you guys had a chance to read the legislation of what's expenses. And so I would just say that direct expenses, I think are absolutely appropriate to be taken out of the community housing fund. But administrative expenses like the clerk and those kinds of things don't meet this, and I'm happy to read this. And I would just say that the Community Housing Board has existed well before the Community Housing Fund. And so I don't see how some of the administrative work could properly be considered having to be directly connected with building housing. And so I think that trying to put all the administrative costs to reduce the balance that we have to actually build housing is inappropriate. And I would say just, I don't think it's a legal use of the funding. I can see if there's some of the legal fees or something like that that we could move. I absolutely believe that, but like the clerk should not be coming from the fund as I read this. So I'm happy to, I don't know if you guys had a chance to reread the legislation.
I did too.
Okay, let me read this section that I think is relevant here. There's a bunch. It is, anyway, I'll have you pass this around. There's a section on eligible expenses. Everything else has to do with specific things like can you use it as a down payment, blah, 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 right? So the only section that I saw that was relevant, please feel free to run it past the lawyer, is eligible expenses. For the purposes of this section, eligible expenses relating to the production of community housing and the rehabilitation of existing buildings and structures under the fund shall include but not be limited to. Now I know you're gonna circle that. Hold on, there's a clause at the end. Land acquisition, planning, engineering, construction costs, other hard and soft costs, here's the important part, directly related to the construction, rehabilitation, purchase of rental housing pursuant to this section. And so I don't see how our clerk fits in that. Now, legal fees having to do with, South Ferry or the site plan review, absolutely, no problem, but I do take exception to the community housing fund being used for like miscellaneous or office. I think it's inappropriate potentially and a legal use of the fund. And also I think a poor precedent is that. So that was my feedback on that.
So what are we talking? We're talking about the clerk. We're talking about office and miscellaneous at 7,100. And we're talking about advertising and communication for another 2.
Yes.
That's
Yep.
$9,100.
So then we should classify the legal services because those legal services are for,
They should come out of the CPF.
I was-
That's fine.
Yeah, I was
If
gonna
the
say.
legal services are specifically for the project, then, and for contract negotiation, that makes absolute sense.
Yep.
But I think that the rest of it is, like I said, is not appropriate and potentially an illegal use of the fund. So I think that it needs to not be taken from the fund.
Now, in the future, if there are things like advertising for placing people in the housing, that I would say.
That absolutely comes out
Things like that.
Yeah, anything having to do with actually like, that process of just like filling the places or anything like that, that has directly to do with the housing, but just like general.
Photocopies, not necessarily.
Photocopies is
Yeah.
like, I think extremely problematic.
Well, what advertising and communication would not be part of, the RFQ, advertising for that's part of building housing. Maybe there should be something in there just in case.
I would say like advertising for an open position on the board would not go under the community housing fund. Monies would come out of your office and miscellaneous.
Yeah,
But advertising for your RFQ, I would say does get paid out of community housing funds. So I think it would depend on the
$2,000 too
invoice.
much or just
Maybe.
about
Or we-
enough?
maybe we bifurcate it.
yeah, but I think maybe you bifurcate it.
Yeah.
Right, and obviously if there's something that has to do directly with actual housing that we're actually building, yeah, absolutely, that's what the fund is for. But just administrative stuff, not appropriate.
So I think if we took office and miscellaneous up to 1,500, and that's not in the community housing fund, and then leave $1,000 in the advertising and communications for things directly related to the housing, that could stay in the community housing fund.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. So we're still at $9,100.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I just think it's a problematic precedent to set, so that's why I wanted to push back here.
I actually think, oh, wait. Maybe 8,100, Ben,
Yeah, oh, did I add that wrong?
because I'm
So-
leaving 1,000 in for advertising and communications specifically for the housing fund.
Oh,
Did that make sense? I don't know if I was clear.
okay, that's fine.
So I figured there's gonna be some advertising and stuff that's directly related to the housing, so then that could come out of that fund.
So
And then there's
so
other
it's
stuff,
81.
yeah,
Yeah,
like noticing meetings and things like that, that wouldn't come out of that fund.
yeah,
Works for me.
All right.
right.
I
If you just
think
want to see that, I'm happy to leave those legislation.
if you
guys.
could,
Yeah.
just because I feel like for due diligence, I would want to have legal counsel just take a look and, you know.
Yeah,
make a safe
absolutely.
determination. I mean,
Yeah, I just, like I said, I think also
Sounds reasonable.
additionally, I think, you know, we have such limited dollars and the cost is so high, I think it's, you know, if we start dipping into it now for admin stuff, you know, I think it's, like I said, I think it's a bad precedent. And I also wouldn't want to see the town use the funds illegally. It'd be inappropriate. And that's just the publicly available legislation.
See anything in there about an audit having to be done for the
I did
housing
not
fund?
see an audit. My understanding is the audit was conducted as part of the town audit.
Or would it be
The
done as part of
expenses?
CPF audit?
But it's not connected to the CPF legislation. WQI is connected to CPF, but the housing fund is not.
It's a separate
It's
list.
a totally separate beast.
Did scan for that, but I didn't see it. Although, I mean, it
The
makes
cost of an audit would be, office expense, really, administrative expense.
And I would say, I mean, here's what I would say is, isn't the auditor looking at the community, I mean, I'm putting on my accountant hat here. But isn't the auditor looking at those expenditures as part of the overall town audit?
yes, but that's what happens with CPF and WQI. But it is separately legislated to have an independent audit.
Yeah, I didn't see anything in there, but also that I wasn't reading closely for an audit.
Yeah. I
That's a
think
good
in part
question for
is that-
Tom.
Yeah, in part, I think that not all towns, like smaller towns, may not get audited.
Yeah.
So the legislation specifically wanted to make sure that this funding source was audited, even if, that's right, I'm not sure,
Yeah.
I think they're just being careful.
Which specific funding source?
The CPF.
Right.
Yeah,
My
CPF.
thought is
Oh,
that
yeah.
because this was designed and kind of modeled after the CPF, it probably has the same stipulation, so we should look into it, because CPF has its own requirements for audit, and I think this probably does too, because it was written by the same, under the same concept as the CPF fund.
Yeah, I'm gonna call the auditors on this.
I mean, I guess the only thing that I would say is that's a potentially very large expense for a very small pot of money, but
Yeah, I was gonna say the CPF, we've got it, it's a CPF WQI shared expense is 12,600 for next year. See, community housing fund wouldn't be quite as big of an audit, but there is still like the base, like what.
yeah, I think the base fees are huge. You know,
So it might be, 10,000.
yeah, it's just unfortunate because we just have so little to spend on, but I mean, obviously if it's legally required, it's legally required. But if it's optional or able to be rolled into the town, I think that would be,
Yeah.
It's an inefficient use of funds if not legally required.
Especially since it's already incorporated in the big audit.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't getting audited at all, problematic, but if it is, and also, there's like almost nothing in there, you know, by the very nature of it, how it's going to work is we'll have kind of additional, like how I imagine that we'll be using it over the next few years is legal fees, you know, like probably a handful of, like, literally, my guess would be 5 to 6 invoices and then potentially one big payout, you know, so we're looking at like, I would be shocked if there was 10 transactions, you know, not counting, you know, deposits and interest payments, but actual like expenditures to be audited. So, yeah, $1,000 a transaction seems pretty steep to me.
The audit might be less than.
But even, you know what I mean, $750 to audit every time we pay the lawyer, that's, yeah. So are you guys okay with leaving the clerk and the administrative stuff in the town budget?
Yeah, I am pending just final review
Well, like,
by legal counsel.
how will I know when the final review is taking place?
I'll
You'll let
check.
me know? Okay, excellent. Thank you for your time today. Does anybody have any other questions? Thanks for the good times, you guys.
This was our last scheduled appointment for this session today. How does everyone feel about continuing? Have we had enough?
Oh, I've totally had enough. Did I say that out loud?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm afraid to stand up and walk on my knee.
One more, the community housing fund, the next page, just
Right.
one item.
That zeroed out because it went into a separate page.
No, we had expenditures and revenues that were just in and out. So it was like we were going to pull in 535,000 and then expend it, you know, send it over to the reserve
From
fund.
the fund itself.
Yeah, and it's
It's in and out transaction.
yeah, so it doesn't even make
I really
sense.
still think it should be on a separate schedule.
Yeah, we're gonna take a look.
Absolutely should be on a separate schedule.
In the accounting software, it is. We have it in its own fund.
I think it's worthwhile for the auditors and have legal look at this, make sure what we're doing is correct.
Yeah, absolutely. It was also in
Whatever it
last,
is, it is, that's what it is.
in last year, it also distorts our, if you look at our cover page, it distorts our cover page.
Yeah.
In the 2025 budget, we show that we had tentative appropriations of $17,441,000. 535,000 of that was this transfer out for community housing. So it definitely distorts what we're projecting out to the public, because that's not a real expenditure.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it also just, distorted our revenues, so.
Right.
It's an in and out transaction.
Exactly, yeah, it was
It distorts the total dollar amount. That's what it's doing.
mhm.
I know like CPF, that was not legislation set there correctly, but there was a lot of interpretation, because we never paid for a clerk, CPF. Okay, but whatever, legislation is going to determine it. The legal aspect, we have to look at how these other towns are handling it, because I think that's how we have to do it.
Yeah.
Whatever the legal thing is, that way it has to be handled.
I thought that the CPF legislation allowed for the clerk to come out of that budget for the administration of the,
Well, because it's interpreted, or anything that's associated, we pay for copies here as well.
No, that's what I'm saying, I think that the
Administrative.
legislative.
Administrative, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of the
Legislation allowed for
10,
that.
10%, up to 10% is
Right.
allowed to be.
And we pay for a part, they pay for a part of the, WQIP does as well as our.
So essentially, we have the two for WQI and CPF, so then we should have one more for housing.
Well, right now housing isn't here, so
Right,
Shelby and I
it's-
have to work
we'll
on
have to-
just pulling
yeah.
it out.
And I was waiting until closer to the end of the year because I
When-
see the through number.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 41,000.
Oh, right.
So that's like expenses related exactly, specifically to the housing project that have just been paid out of general fund, and then we'll do a transfer at the end of the year from the housing fund to cover that.
Cover it. Yeah, so we just have to, we have to.
That's why we're keeping track of it in that separate line then, but
That makes sense.
I mean, eventually, I guess we could get like separate checks and from the housing fund, like we do for CPF and WQI.
Yeah, we should sit down and look at, because we will end up, if we can't take all of the expenses out of the community housing fund, we will keep a portion, just a
here, yeah.
portion, and then all of the things that we're going to get paid out of community housing fund will then get moved to a separate schedule along with these pieces.
That makes sense.
We just have to think through transfer, the reflection. It'll be similar to CPF, it'll be easier.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So our next budget work session,
Next week.
yes,
May 3rd.
Tuesday morning. 9 to 12, and we have Kelly with senior services, Joe on all things engineering, and Ken from 11 to 12. I was just thinking that we may want to kind of keep Ken on standby, so that, because Joe may not. probably
Yeah,
won't
in
be
between them.
full half.
I don't have it in front of me. What do we have? Is it from
From 9 to noon on the
June? I don't
23rd?
think you're gonna get that in.
No, I think Ken's gonna need.
Absolutely.
Well, that's why I'm thinking Joe will only need half an hour.
Kelly might, maybe
We'll
more.
see.
She's got a bigger budget.
Yeah,
like
she's
more
got
line
more,
items.
yeah, she's got more things going on. I would say like Ken maybe at 10:30, so it gives an hour and a half.
Maybe we could see if there's a day where we don't have a lot of people coming in and he could just have a larger chunk of time.
Friday the 26th?
Yeah, maybe from 10 to 12 on Friday, because Kevin's coming in from 9 to 10.
Yeah,
We can just see if Ken.
see if he's available. I'm gonna leave him there until you tell us otherwise.
Might just put him in October. You could have a whole day in October. We won't need 4 hours.
Well, even here is in my imagination.
It's cold. Yeah, I'm freezing, yeah.
All right, that's all right.
That's it for today.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thanks.